One of the things that I have done regularly on this channel since I started it is I take a look at the Nintendo Switch eShop and I find you fantastic games that you can add to your digital library. What's going on, everybody? I'm Jay. Welcome to Square Pegs. Glad to have you here. And today's no different. Despite the fact that the Nintendo Switch 2 has been announced, there is still no shortage of incredible titles on the Switch eShop. And with Nintendo revealing that Switch 2 is going to be compatible with the Switch 1 library, only makes sense to keep looking at stuff, right? So let's kick things off with a really interesting compilation of sports games that you can pick up on the Switch eShop right now. Whenever I talk about sports games on this channel, one of the most common threads is that modern sports games just aren't as fun as classic ones. And in a lot of cases, you are 100% correct, folks. I completely agree with you, which is why it is so cool that Qbyte has released the Accolade Sports Collection under their Qbyte Classics label. This is an awesome collection. First off, thank you to Qbyte for providing me with a review code here, but this is a magnificent collection of some really fun games. You get Shut Up and Jam, which is a really interesting and actually particularly fun 2-on-2 basketball game that's really over the top. It starred Charles Barkley in its original incantation. You get Hardball, which is an awesome baseball game, Hardball 2, which is its excellent sequel, and then you get two Olympic-based games. You get Winter Challenge, which features my particular favorite events, and the Summer Challenge, which gives you a bunch of track and field and kayaking and like archery and stuff like that. It's an excellent collection. Every game plays brilliantly well. It plays just like it did back in the day. These are all ported over from MS-DOS. These are the MS-DOS versions here being played on the Switch. It's just a lot of fun. I love it. I think this is an awesome collection. It's really fun to play, and it's $20. You get 5 games for $20. That's a steal. There's a ton of things to love about the Katamari Damacy series, whether it's the amazing music, the ridiculous gameplay, or just the king of all cosmos. There's really nothing that I dislike about this series. And we got Katamari Damacy remastered on the Switch earlier. Now we also have We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie here on the Switch. It's like, I just love it. Like, it's such a ridiculous game. So if you haven't played Katamari, if you've been living under a rock, Katamari is basically, you play as the Prince of all Cosmos, and you have a ball that is extra sticky, and you roll things up. Now, the catch is, you can't roll up things that are bigger than your ball. They have to be the same size or lower. So as you're going through the levels, you're going to collect more things. Think of it kind of like, remember those wacky walkers that we had that we threw against the wall that were the octopi, and they would roll down and they'd fall on the floor, they'd get all hairy and gross? That's basically what you're doing with your Katamari here. You're rolling around the levels, you're picking up everything, you're making it hairy and gross, but you're not collecting like hair balls and things like that. You're collecting like tables and cats. Just go with me on this one. The gameplay is really fun. It's varied, it's silly, it's fantastic and wonderful and just irreverent. The music is amazing, and you get a little bit of lore building here with Royal Reverie, where you learn a little bit about the King of all Cosmos. I love it. This is a $29.99 game. It's a fantastic title. It's a remaster of a classic game that was released on the 360. Love it, though. Absolutely worth it. You can basically mark me down as a Flynn's Arcade evangelist now, because basically anything they put out, I'm going to be a fan of, and Freddy Farmer is no different. This is a 16-bit style single-screen arcade game, and it is brilliant. One of the things I really like about it is, while it's deceptively simple, like you just have to go around and collect all the items, right? And when you collect the items, you're done and all is well. But the best part about this game is the nice little change that has to happen here, where it feels a little bit like Donut Dodo in that regard. You have to collect the ingredients for the potion you're constructing on each level in order to maximize your score. And each level is timed, and there's tons of enemies on the screen, and it is just a fast and frantic and fun game that is amazing. I love games like this. I love single-screen arcade titles. It is a throwback title, a classic experience, and it's just fun. There's so much different stuff in here. There's 5 worlds with 7 levels, so you got 35 total levels to play. Bunch of different enemies, 2 different endings to the story, and a bunch of different mini games that you can unlock, as well as other extras. It's a fantastic title, and it's only $4.99. I'm really of two minds when it comes to the Moons of Darsalon, because on one hand, I think this game is absolutely brilliant. It's a fantastic physics-based platformer where you need to go around these different levels and collect other spacemen, basically, and get them from point A to point B. It's kind of like Lemmings or classic Oddworld games in that regard. And the gameplay is wonderful. You have a flashlight that you can find that will get the characters that you're trying to collect out of the dark, will make them follow you better. You can give voice commands to make them stay or follow you or go left or go right. You can actually direct that as opposed to just kind of shouting it. You can say to like a particular character you want to go in a particular way. There's laser guns you can collect. There's fantastic fluid physics. It's just wonderful. But where it gets gross and weird is the fact that the developer decided to instill AI art onto loading screens in a 2024 update back on the PC, and that carries over to today on the Switch version. Now, I'm suggesting it because they do allow you to turn it off, which I'm all for. I don't support AI art. I think it's kind of creepy and kind of gross that people use it, especially in a video game, and I didn't know about it at the time when I bought the title. So if you are against AI art and you don't want to pick up this game because of that, 100% understood, 100% supported, but I will say I do think you're missing out on a really, really fun platformer here. This is $17.99. I do like the game, but understood and respected if you don't want to buy it because of the AI thing.
August. Dark Nights with Poe
and Monroe.
I have been sitting on Dark Nights with Poe and Monroe since I first saw it released on the Switch back in 2021. I've had it on my wish list for 4 years almost now, waiting for this to go on sale at a point where I was going to be able to pick it up. And I am so happy that I pulled the trigger. Because one of my favorite things about this current video game generation is the return, the mighty return, the phenomenal return of full motion video games. I love this title. This is a dark Twin Peaks-esque look into the life of two podcasters, Poe and Monroe, and the supernatural dealings that happen around them. This game is dark, a little bit twisted, a little bit sexy, dare I say it, and it's just spectacular. It's a ridiculous concept. Like, any full motion video game is a ridiculous concept, and this one is no different, but it's excellent. There's tons of branching paths, tons of choices you can make. I will say at first when you jump into game, it does feel a little bit uneven and a little bit confusing what you're supposed to do. But as soon as you first make your couple of choices, you're going to understand what you have to do and the timing that's necessary. Love this game. Love the story it tells. There's 6 different episodes included in this download, and it's fantastic. Normally, this is a $12.99 game, and I think that's a great price for it. But $3.89 on sale until February 27th here in the States. Can't go wrong with that. I have been an admirer of the Yakuza series for a very long time, or the Like a Dragon series for a very long time, but I never really played them until recently, and this is actually the first one I played, is Yakuza Kiwami here on the Nintendo Switch, and it's really opened up the world of Yakuza to me, because it's, oh boy, this game is amazing. So this is an action RPG. It disguises itself as a Yakuza sim, but it is decidedly an action RPG. Your combat is just settled with, beatdown sessions where you're able to switch your fighting style on the fly. And it's pretty great because Kazuma is a wonderful character, a phenomenal protagonist, and there's so many amazing characters in this game that are just like memorable and ridiculous and fun. This game itself is just such an incredible title and such a wonderful landmark game that I'm so happy I finally took the plunge. I finally picked it up and I'm finally playing it. Now, this is decidedly an M-rated game. Don't think that this is something where you should be buying this for kids or anything like that. This is an M-rated title. Be aware of that going in. But if you're an adult and this is the kind of game that you've been curious about, or you've been interested in playing this, or you just haven't played it since its original release on the PS2, check it out here on the Switch. It's $19.99. I have zero regrets. It plays brilliantly well on this console. I'm always a fan of side-scrolling run-and-gun games, and I love it when they put a unique spin on things and do things a little bit differently, and that's what you get with this game here. This is called Gunbrella, and this is one that I've had my eye on for a while. This is from Devolver Digital, so you know the pedigree is there. It's going to be a quality release. It was developed by Doinksoft, who does some other great games as well, like Gato Roboto, which was another fantastic run-and-gun shooter. Wildly different title here, though. This is a very gritty, very mature game. This is M-rated, so be aware of that. And you are basically investigating the death of your family. At the start of the game, you find out they were killed, and you have to go through these just dystopian worlds to find out what happened. It's a ridiculous concept, but it works so incredibly well. And your weapon is a gunbrella, and you are investigating the mystery of the weapon. Absolutely love this game. It is something that I enjoyed the demo of a couple of years ago, and I never pulled the trigger on it for some reason or another, but I was checking out my wish list and I saw that it was on sale right now, so I pulled the trigger. This is normally a $14.99 game, but through February 24th, here in the States, it's going to be $5.99 for you. This is a fantastic game, and if you dig run and gun shooters, you need to check this one out. Hey, it's our second single-screen arcade game of the video, and our second release from my friends at Flynn's Arcade. This is Super Spy Raccoon. Now, this has two great tastes that taste great together. It's got a spy motif, and it's got raccoons, which are things that I am all about. I love raccoons. I think they're amazing little critters. And this game is super cool because it's very simple in its execution. Like, it is not a complex game to understand. You use your raccoon, you hide behind stuff, you have to collect the files that are on each screen, don't get seen. That's it. Now, there's some potions you can collect that'll give you invisibility and things like that, but as you play the game, the difficulty ramps up. Trust me. Oh my god, this game is so hard. But it's so much fun because you're just thinking constantly about better ways to make your way through the level, to not be spotted by the owls or the orangutans or the laser-guided surveillance systems or the lights or anything like that. It's just a brilliantly fun game that is simple in appearance and just unbelievably difficult in its execution, but it is so much fun and such a wonderful challenge to keep coming back to. At its full price, this is a $4.99 game, but right now, through February 27th here in the States, it's on sale for $2.49. I'm a big fan of the Azure Striker Gunvolt series. I originally played it back on the 3DS, so to get a fantastic threequel on the Switch in Azure Striker Gunvolt 3 just has me ecstatic. Like, I already love the physical collection of Azure Striker 1 and 2, the battle pack there. I think it's great. But to get this one, which was designed from the ground up for the Switch, just takes such great advantage of what the system is capable of. There's a new protagonist this time around. You still get to play as Gunvolt, which is great, but you also get to play as Kieran. There's a ton of new effects in the game. There's new summons that you're able to do. The music is spectacular. It's just a brilliant title. Like, every single one of these games are excellent. All three of them are fantastic. Even the one that co-starred Mighty No. 9, Mighty Gunvolt Burst, was an excellent game as well. It's just awesome to be able to play this entire series in one spot on the Nintendo Switch. There's great music in this game. There's a ton of new power-ups and things like that. There's actually over 150 new image pulse powers, which is really cool. And the gameplay is just solid from top to bottom. It's an action-packed, exciting game with some fantastic controls, wonderful music, great voice acting throughout. It's normally $29.99, but it's going to be on sale through March 6th here in the States for $13.49. I love this game in its original form on the PlayStation. I love it here on the Switch. This is Okami HD. It's brilliant. Like, this is just a fantastic game. It feels like a Nintendo title. Like, this doesn't feel like something that should have come out on the Sony PlayStation. This feels like it should have been a Nintendo GameCube game. Like, it should have come out at that time. And it's just such a brilliant title, and it shows exactly what Capcom is capable of doing when they put their minds to it. It's such a beautiful title with such a sincere and really funny story. Like, your little sidekick, your star sidekick, is hilarious. It's a great game, though. If you haven't played this, you play as Amaterasu, and you basically are collecting different abilities to use your cosmic brush to fill in the world, to paint things. You can do that in this game by using the traditional controls that were present in the PlayStation 2, or you can use it with a Joy-Con to use motion controls. There's even touchscreen options for painting. It's really great. Absolutely love this title. And there is a sequel coming out soon, which I'm excited about. But this is only $19.99. It's a wonderful game. If you haven't played this one before, you really should. This is a classic title that I think everyone needs to play. There you have it, my friends. 10 Switch eShop games that I think every digital collection should have. We've got everything from classic sports titles in a compilation all the way to a brand new single-screen arcade game from my friends at Flynn's Arcade.
Tons of amazing titles, tons of awesome gameplay options here. Let me know in the comments down below which one looks most interesting to you. Which one do you want to play on your Switch? Or are you going to wait for the Switch 2 to launch? Also, let me know in the comments if there are any other games on the Switch eShop that you think I should look into. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the playlist on screen right now where I have literally like 500 different games that you can check out. There's a lot. There's a lot of games on there. Until next time, folks, I've been Jay. Appreciate you spending a little bit of time with me. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you're new here. And remember to play more games, stay square, and take care. I'll talk to you soon.